Hey everybody, this is Derek, aka No One on YouTube. Thank you for clicking on my video. So now what I'm going to do is the second subscriber request that I got from a band called Sleep Token, who I know I've heard some of their stuff, like maybe a couple. I don't know too much of their catalog. So let me see. I was asked to react to Take Me Back to Eden. So this is a lyric video. So I'm going to do this lyric video, and I'm just going to hope that it doesn't get blocked because they've been going crazy on the blocking lately. So hold on one second. Let me just kind of like minimize my little box over here. Um, and then we'll full screen this. I'm going to put on my headphones, and let's get to it. Oh, I just realized this is an 8-minute song. Okay, 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Sleep Token, Take Me Back to Eden, lyric video. I'll be pausing it in between here and there and give you my thoughts. And let's go.
I dream in phosphorescence, bleed through spaces, see you drifting past the fall, but no one told you where to go. We dive through crystal waters, perfect oceans, but no one told me not to breathe. And now the weightlessness recedes. Those eyes like fire. I'm a winged insect. You're a funeral pyre. Come now, bite through these wires. I'm a waking hell, and the gods grow tired. Reset my patient violence along both lines of a pathway higher. Grow back your sharpest teeth. You know my desire. Travel far beyond the path of reason. Take me back to Eden. Take me back to
Okay, so I really like this dude's vocals. I really like his voice. I can tell he has like a little bit of an accent, so I'm not quite sure exactly where he's from or where this band is from. Um, I loved it when it got heavy. And there was a couple lines in here. I know he said something like he was a winged insect in your funeral pyre. So that's quite a word picture, right? If you could just picture like a huge funeral pyre, and then it's just an insect just getting burned right in the middle of it. So that was pretty cool. I'm trying to follow along to the best of my ability as the lyrics, are going. But yeah, when it came in heavy, that was my favorite part. So let's keep going.
Well, yeah, I spit blood when I wake up. Sink porcelain stain, choking up brain matter and makeup. Just 2 days since the mainframe went down and I'm still messed up. Room feels like a meat freezer, I dangling like cold cuts. Missed calls, answer phones from people I just don't trust. Mirror talk, fake love, but I'll take a pound of your flesh before you take a piece of my pay stub. White roses, black doves, godmother, rise up. I need you to see me for what I have become. My, those eyes like fire. I'm a winged insect, you're a funeral pyre. Come now, bite through these wires. I'm a waking hell and the gods grow tired. Reset my patient violence along both lines of a pathway higher. Grow back your sharpest teeth, you know my desire.
I like the piano.
I guess it goes to show, does it not, that we've no idea what we've got until we lose it. And no amount of love will keep it around if we don't choose it. And
All right, guys. There you have it. Sleep Token, Take Me Back to Eden. Now, I believe they have their lyrics written down in here. Let me just look at the comments real quickly down here. Um, we didn't know we were starved of poetry till we heard this song. The lyrics were definitely poetic. I was trying to figure them out. That's why I want to read them again. Um, this is Musical Heroine. This song is Soul Ascending. As a neurodivergent person, Sleep Token tickles my neurons so good. Um, I've listened to this song probably 50 times since I found it maybe a week and a half ago. It's been stuck in my head since I first heard it. I haven't been this obsessed with the song for years. Okay, so my favorite parts of the song is when it got heavy. And after 7 minutes of the song, then some harsh vocals came in, and I mean, honestly, those are my favorite parts of the song, because the other parts, it was just, I mean, there were no transitions, not a lot of key changes. Aside from the heavy parts, everything was pretty much the same for an 8 minute song. But let's just kind of like look at the lyrics just real quickly. I dream in phosphorescence, and I'm not quite sure what that means, but I dream in phosphorescence. Bleed through spaces, see you drifting past the fog, but no one told you where to go. Listen, guys, I hope this isn't gonna affect the sound of the video here, but I'm sweating to death and I have to turn the fan on. All right, but the music's not playing, so if you hear the fan, whatever. We dive through crystal waters, perfect oceans, but no one told me not to breathe. So that's interesting. And now the weightlessness recedes. No one told you where to go. We dive through crystal waters, perfect oceans, but no one told me not to breathe. All right. My, those eyes like fire. I'm a winged insect. You're a funeral pyre. Come now, bite through these wires. I'm a waking hell, and the gods grow tired. Reset my patient violence along both lines of a pathway higher. Grow back your sharpest teeth. You know my desire. I will travel far beyond the path of reason. Take me back to Eden. And then we know the story in the Bible, in Genesis, that God created the first man and woman and put them in the Garden of Eden, and it was a perfect paradise. They were perfect until, of course, a fallen angel decided to introduce a rebellion and a coup to God's rulership. So anyway, so it says, I spit blood when I wake up, sink porcelain stained, choking up brain matter and makeup. So that's interesting. Why makeup? This is a guy talking. Just 2 days since the mainframe went down and I'm still messed up. Room feels like a meat freezer. I dangle in like cold cuts. Okay, so that's a word picture right there. A meat freezer and dangling in there like cold cuts. Missed calls, answer phones from people I just don't trust. Mirror talk, fake love. So I guess like not loving yourself. Mirror talk. I mean, if you're talking to yourself in the mirror, but it's fake love. But I'll take a pound of your flesh, for you take a piece of my pay stub. White roses, black doves, Godmother, rise up. I need you to see me for what I have become. I guess it goes to show, does it not, that we've no idea what we've got until we lose it. Well, that's the truth. And no amount of love will keep it around if we don't choose it. Okay, so we're talking about losing something and then choosing something. We've no idea what we've got until we lose it. Okay. And then no amount of love will keep it around, or whatever we've got, if we don't choose it, because you'll lose it. I don't know, and I don't know what's got its teeth in me, but I'm about to bite back in anger. So obviously this is a mental and emotional turmoil, right? Or chaos, inner chaos. No amount of self sought fury will bring back the glory of innocence. Something must have happened. If his innocence is gone, perhaps something happened. Maybe that's what's being metaphorical about going back to Eden, maybe during a time when there was peace. So he's talking about the no amount of self sought fury will bring. Something has made him angry. Something has made him angry, and something is making him want to go back to that state of innocence, back to that beginning, back to Eden. So I guess that could be left up to the interpretation of the listener, but I'm not quite sure exactly what the songwriter had in mind. But again, I'm a winged insect, you're a funeral pyre. So is there like a specific person that the songwriter is writing to? Someone that caused him extreme pain? Um, Reset my patient violence along both lines of a pathway higher. Taking the higher road, right? Um, Grow back your sharpest teeth. You know my desire. When we were made, I know it was no accident. You know my desire. We were tangled up like branches in a flood. I have traveled far beyond the path of reason, but take me back to Eden. Um, the one thing that I do know is that the man is in pain and he wants to go to a more innocent time, back to the beginning. Um, Obviously, he's tired. He's awaking hell. He mentioned earlier that he wakes up spitting blood, choking up brain matter. Um, he feels like he's in a freezer, just hung up like cold cuts. He's talking about mirror talk and having it being fake love. So he doesn't love himself. So something traumatic happened to him shortly after his beginning. So perhaps in his childhood, mid childhood, late childhood. Um, I'm not quite sure. Let me see if I could just very quickly um, sleep token. Take me back to Eden lyrics, song meaning. And let me see, sometimes song meaning and facts. Okay, let's see what they have to say. This is the title track of the Sleep Token studio album, which came out May 19th, 2023. Sleep Token is another of the popular masked bands that managed to come out during the early 21st century, with this particular act being from London. Okay, I knew I heard a little bit of an accent. And fronted by a singer known only Vessel or Vessel 1, compared to his bandmates who are 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so that's interesting. It is Vessel 1 who wrote and co-produced this song, accomplishing that latter assignment alongside Carl Brown, whoever that is. As put forth by Sleep Token, the album itself is part 3 of a trilogy that began with Sundowning, their debut studio LP, which came out in 2019. That would imply that 2021's This Place Will Become Your Tomb, the band's sophomore full length, was the second installment in this saga. See, that's pretty cool. Okay, so this is a whole trilogy. And it just kind of reminds me of a couple other bands that have done that as well. Okay, so the lyrics of this song are quite macabre, and in poetically adhering to that motif, it can also be argued so poetic that they're borderline confusing. But by the time all is said and done, it can be ascertained that what the vocalist is most likely speaking to is being in a troubled romance with the addressee. Okay, now I didn't catch romance in the lyrics, but let me keep on reading. And in terms of macabre lingo, what that stylistic choice appears to point to is a concept along the lines of the featured relationship having developed into a violent one. So is this about DV? But underneath it all is a sentiment of the vocalist wanting to salvage this union despite how disagreeable it may have become. It is in the refrain that we find the title, but first Vessel puts forth that he has traveled far beyond the path of reason. So vessel stating a desire to be taken back to Eden afterward can be interpreted as Eden in context being symbolic of the reasonable, more peaceful days. Okay, and I got that. But it says of his relationship with the addressee. So back to the euphoria stage when they actually got along. So when I was saying that somebody hurt him, obviously it's this person that he's in a relationship with. And when I was understanding that he wanted to go back to a place of innocence and peace, back to the beginning. Now I get it. If this is him speaking to someone that he's romantically involved with, so that's quite dramatic for for a love song. Okay, so the conclusion is buttressed by the nature of the third verse, with the vocalist noting the human tendency to not appreciate what we've got until we lose it. And now, having grown wiser in romance, he is also able to advise us listeners that relationships are not kept alive based on love alone, no matter how much affection may be present. Rather, one has to choose or make a conscientious and continuous effort to keep things going. It's very, very true. Whether you're in romance or not, that is a principle in life. But that said, in this present state, Vessel seems to be so consumed with anger that he comes off as one of those types of partners who can't help but to play the back and forth game of toxicity with the addressee. Boy, I think a lot of us can relate to that, right? Um, Somebody down here says, I know who it's about. All right. Well, I just wanted to kind of go through the lyrics a little bit more deeper than just reading it on the screen or even just reading it in the description box. So that was good. And I'm glad that I was able to decipher maybe the gist of the feelings, though I don't know. I was thinking of something like a traumatic childhood, but apparently it's a traumatic relationship that he is involved with. So, anyways, if there's anything that you would like me to know about the band, about this song, maybe you're the guy that wrote down there, I know who this is about. I don't know. Put it in the comment section. If there's anything else by Sleep Token that you would like me to react to, let me know. If you want to support me, there's a PayPal link, Buy Me a Coffee link, and there's a Patreon. You can join my Patreon for free, and there's also 2 modest paid tiers that are on there. All of those requests get put up to the top of the list. But I pay attention to all requests, and I appreciate everybody's support in one way or another. If you like this video and reaction, then I hope that you press like. It does help me out. And if you'd like to support me, or if you like my content, you can look in my playlist under No One's Reactions. I'll probably put it up here, and then you can take a look. And if you like what I'm reacting to, and if you want to see your favorite bands and songs reacted to, then I hope that you hit subscribe and that you follow me along in this journey. So, all right, everybody, rock on. Peace out. Have a good weekend, TGIF.